Hey everyone, Angel of Death TV here. I'm casting the Blade and Soul 2015 World Championship in English. The original cast is in Korean, and the tournament is well over, so I'm casting this from VODs for anybody that wants to look it up later. We are on the semi-finals second match. We have the Japanese destroyer Yua Matsumoto versus the Korean Force Master Jung Ho Yoon. Let's jump into this game and get started. There's a blue rage on the destroyer, which is important to note. I'm not too familiar with the Destroyer versus Force Master matchup, but I know that the Blue Rage is a second CC escape, whether from hard or soft CC, but it's on a minute cooldown, so it's very risky to use. There's an aggressive tap there from the Destroyer as he gets Phantom Gripped. Some slows coming down into the Destroyer as the Force Master is kiting him around. Force Master goes for the freeze, doesn't get it. Looks like the Destroyer iframed the Inferno, which could have been huge damage there. Force Master parries. Force Master gets parried. He attacks into the beginning of the spin. Goes for an air combo here. Drops him onto the flame. Gets the second knockup. Out of the knockup, gets a Phantom Grip. Holds him in the Meteor Shower. Drops him down for another huge bit of damage. Dazes him up against the wall. Very nice combo from the Force Master, but only takes about half of the Destroyer's health. Worth it to mention, though, that Destroyers have the highest in-arena health. Phantom Grip comes out from the Force Master again onto the Destroyer. Destroyer tabs out of it and forces the Ice Dragon, the Frost Armor, from the Force Master, who now has his tab back up and his F retreat, his F roll. Blue Rage out from the Destroyer. Looks like he did it just to get Ki. Slightly questionable, but he also takes reduced damage during the effect of it, so it might have had something to do with that. He gets Phantom Gripped. He has no break for this unless he times it correctly. It's dropped out of the Phantom Grip, pushed away with the Fire Dragon Daze. Frost stunned, air combo, gonna get dropped onto the fire, has no way to get out of it because he's still stunned. Tabs out of it as soon as it comes off cooldown, immunes the damage from the flame, but still gets Phantom Grip to take some of the meteor damage. Force Master's holding him in place, drops him in Infernos for the kill. Pretty solid first set from the Force Master there. Looked like he was in control of that match the entire time. I mentioned this earlier in the tournament. I don't like the Blue Rage usage just for the Ki. Sometimes it might be necessary. These guys are professionals, but it just seems like it's not a great idea in the long run if you're not going to get a kill soon after using it, because then you use up your cooldown. You don't have a defensive cooldown after you tab, which is the whole reason you take Blue Rage. You don't have the offensive cooldown because you went for Blue Rage and wasted it. Kind of just like not having the Blue Rage at all. Or any Rage, actually. Highlights of this match were the tab escape into the air combo from the Force Master. Dropped into a nice air combo there. Phantom Grips him into the Meteor Shower, and I think you get 2 Frost Stuns out of this, if I recall correctly. There's one. There's a Frost Stun and a Daze, my apologies. 2 Frost Stuns here, I remember this one though. Into the second air combo, which went for the kill. Didn't get the kill out of it because of the tab, but he kills him with a Phantom Grip Inferno afterwards. Pretty dominant game from our Force Master player there. We're going to see if our Japanese Destroyer is going to change it up and take Red Rage or keep with the Blue Rage. In the quarterfinals, he actually kept Blue Rage for an entire best of 5, despite being dominant in it. So, probably going to do the same here, I'd hope, especially because this is a matchup where he's the one who has to deal with all of the CC. Huge crowd here, looks relatively excited while not exactly energized. Looks like we're going to be heading into the next set here shortly. I still love this stage. And I still never tire of this intro. Alright, the Destroyer kept the Blue Rage. Good choice in my opinion. He goes up, gets an early deflect off of the Force Master for a quick stun. Force Master pops his 30-second Frost, gets hit, so it procs. He dashes away out of that, gets dazed. tabs out of the daze, so his tab escape is down. Phantom grips the Destroyer. Destroyer tabs out, and then he gets frozen by the Force Master while he goes for some time with the Frost Burst. Gets frost stunned, comes out of that spinning, so it doesn't get dazed by the next Fire Dragon there. Jumps onto the Force Master, gets the daze, goes for the knockdown. Force Master has no escapes actually. A Red Rage here would have actually probably been the game, but I guess you can't really bet on that. Force Master has his tab escape coming up shortly. He still has his Ice Dragon. Destroyer's done much more damage this match than he has last match. He's going for the shield to heal up some. Blue rages and goes for the spin in. Force Master responds by Ice Dragon using their 1 minute cooldown on Frost Armor for immunity. Comes out of it and dashes away. Goes for the Phantom Grip. Destroyer tabs out of the Phantom Grip. Goes for the knock-up. Doesn't get it, but gets the daze. Doing some grapple damage, knockdown, F-roll out of the knockdown, 30-second frost used yet again. Knock up, more damage from the Destroyer's anti-cancel combo there. Force Master's tab escape and roll are back up now. Destroyer's getting some space, goes for the jump knock-up or the jump daze, couldn't tell which. Inferno comes out, doesn't do a huge bit of damage. Destroyer goes in, gets pushed away as he goes in, grabs the shield for a stun, drops the shield early as he gets dazed, doesn't get the full heal out of that. Force Master did use his tab escape for that, however. Destroyer used his smash cooldown on that. He has a huge window here to do great damage, but Force Master rolls out on a daze. Big damage still done. Gets the parry off of one of the LBs the Force Master throws when he begins to spin and just ends the match there. We're currently split 1-1 in this best of 5. Matsumoto looked like he was much more into that game than the first one. In the first one, he was kind of being pulled around. Oh, hey, look, it's our summoner friend with the ears. He is hella excited. Matsumoto was getting pulled around the first set, and didn't really seem to be able to get a response in. But that second set there, he looked much more. He had more responses. He had more, like he would get CC, deal some CC back. Actually forced escapes out of the Force Master, rather than the Force Master's using them to not take any damage at all. Force Master was forced to use them, otherwise he would have died. All around, the second set looked a lot better for Matsumoto than it did the first set. Going into this third set, though, I still predict he'll have a Blue Rage, especially in a CC heavy against a CC heavy character like a Force Master. I wouldn't actually say CC heavy, but more of a root heavy and annoyance-ridden class for Destroyers. Another shot on the Chinese squad again. I think that was the Chinese squad. I didn't actually get a close enough look there. The highlight, however, of this match was the knockdown into the anti-cancel combo when the Force Master had no escapes. He had to use his backstep there and push the Destroyer away, but it didn't really save him much time. Second animation cancel there. Actually wound up with the Vortex. He pulled in and stopped the Ice Burst, the freeze that would have bought the Force Master some time there. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but it was great timing. Matsumoto looking a little nervous here, whereas earlier he was actually showing some BM to his opponents. He looks relatively nervous now. More crowd shots. Someone's shy. Looks like this is an outside venue, as people seem to have raincoats and such on. Looking at the uniform, it appears that the summoner was from Japan earlier, and I just forgot. China also had the red uniforms, but Japan had the red uniforms with the black sleeves, and that's what they were wearing. So I apologize for my mistake there. Going into set 3, so far this match is a 1-1. First match was completely one-sided for the summoner, or for the Force Master. The second set was much more even, but the Destroyer definitely got a nice win at the end there. Still had a good bit of health left. Could go either way in this set 3, but it's going to depend upon if Matsumoto can get responses and it doesn't just get CC the entire game like he did in the first set. He goes for the jump, pulls the Force Master out of the air, but doesn't get the CC out of it. 30-second frost used, it wears off. Not getting used. Flame Wheel comes out for the Destroyer. He knocks down the Force Master. Force Master rolled out, got CC'd again and tabbed out. He goes for the Phantom Grip onto the Destroyer. Destroyer tabs out of that. Knockdown onto the Force Master, forces the backstep. Force Master only has his Frost Armor left. Destroyer spinning to avoid CC as he closes the distance. He shields up without really needing to use it, goes in for the stun, gets the daze, forces backstep to be used. Gets the grapple, goes for grapple damage, throwdown into the anti-cancel combo there. F-roll comes up for the Force Master now. He has tab escape in a second, but it won't matter because there's no soft CC yet. There's the knockdown, the first soft CC. He tabs out and dazes the Destroyer. Destroyer Blue Raid is out to chase and forces the 30-second Frost into a actual Ice Dragon, the full Frost Armor, the 1 minute cooldown. Destroyer is at full health to the Force Masters are about 1/3 remaining. First combo's coming in from the Force Master. He gets a nice Frost stun into an Inferno for some big damage. Meteor's dropped on the head of the Destroyer. Destroyer shields up for the 3rd time this match for another slight heal. Doesn't get the stun off of it. Draws the Force Master in with a daze. Force Master's tab just not coming up. He used his 30-second Frost there to immune that. Smash comes off cooldown for the Destroyer. Could be big damage in this next combo. Phantom Grip comes out. Tab escape used immediately. Iframes to close the distance. Doesn't get the hit off of it. Stomp for the pull-in. Daze out of that. Rolled out of. Tab escape is remaining for the Force Master. Destroyer is out of CC breaks for the moment, so he's going to have trouble closing. Frost Burst from the Force Master to buy time and just kind of put the match in his favor there. Ice stun out of that into an air combo. Drops him onto the fire. Inferno out of that for big damage. Looks like it would actually might have been immuned. Or at least didn't do as much damage as I'm used to. Daze comes out onto the onto the Destroyer from the Force Master. Force Master goes into another Ice Dragon, chilling in his Meteor Shower actually. Destroyer gets some distance. He used his Blue Rage there. He still has his tab escape, however. Destroyer's on the ropes after having such a great opening. Iframes in and breaks the Phantom Grip. Very nice there. Flame Wheel comes out. He backsteps to try to catch the Force Master. Doesn't manage to get it. Shields up. Goes for the stun, but gets pushed back as he goes for it. Gets dazed there and looks knocked down or dazed and rolls out immediately. Some soft CC. He used his tab escape, but used his tab escape directly into a Frost Burst and got CC'd right again. Another stun combo should come out of this. Nope, goes for a Phantom Grip instead on the Force Master. Throws him down, pushes him away, stun. Goes for the doesn't even use Inferno, just goes for another Blazing Palm. Just their LB into an impact for the kill. Matsumoto, the Destroyer, looked great in this beginning portion, and then he lost control of the match. And once the Force Master got on his feet, he didn't really let Matsumoto get a chance again. I believe this Force Master player has been actually quite dominant in most of his matches. I think he had a few dropped sets throughout the tournament, but most of his matches looked pretty solid, pretty one-sided. Definitely noteworthy how good of a Force Master Yoon is. This is the huge combo in the beginning that Matsumoto put out that made me believe he had such a great opening. He used his smash and everything there and just got so much damage, but the Force Master basically stayed at that health for the rest of the match and controlled Matsumoto back into the corner. Completely used all of his CC breaks and just killed him. Jung Ho Yoon definitely taking control of that match, just like he did the first set, even after having a little bit of a unfortunate opening where he took a huge portion of damage that he probably should have been able to avoid. Although hindsight is 20/20, so I mean, I could say he could have avoided it, but he didn't know how it was going to play out. Those are different ears that our Japanese summoner has on now as opposed to during his matches. He had some black and orange Halloween ones on during his matches. He now has white and pink ones on. Maybe he rerolled characters. It's just maybe he changed appearances, I meant to say, and it's just a different appearance of summoner now. Going into set 4, Jung Ho Yoon is up 2-1 over Matsumoto. We're going to see how this opens up. Destroyer still running with the Blue Rage. Probably the best decision. Early Phantom Grip comes from the Force Master, aggressive tab out, but then the Destroyer goes for some distance. He also used his backstep, his double S. Glacial Beam comes out onto the onto the Destroyer from the Force Master for a quick Frost Stun, follows up with his RB Frost Palm for another Ice Stun there. Gets drawn in by the Destroyer, but gets the Phantom Grip off and doesn't have to use anything to get out of it. Drops him, gets a third Frost Stun into a fourth Frost Stun, doing pretty good on holding the control here. The Destroyer finally looks like he's going to get some more than edgewise, and the Force Master blows his 1 minute cooldown, the Frost Armor there, to prevent anything from happening. He gets drawn in, uses his Tab Escape immediately, goes for the Phantom Grip, but actually gets it broken out of by some iframes. Force Master sitting on just his backstep right now for hard CC and his F roll for soft CC. Gets parried by the Destroyer as he throws what looks like an impact into the Destroyer's stun. Huge damage comes in here. Smash is used. Flame Wheel afterwards. Knocked out on the Force Master again. He has no escape right there besides the backstep. He manages to Q out, it looks like. Panic on the Destroyer. He tabs out immediately. 30-second Frost used by the Force Master. Does not get popped. Destroyer tries to pull him in, but doesn't get anything off of it. Force Master goes into the air combo, drops him onto the fire, gets another air combo, Frost Stun out of that, and that should be this one. Oh no, Blue Rage finally used. Ice Dragon used by the Force Master. Destroyer's probably going to shield up here for some health. Doesn't decide to, goes in with some iframes to try to get a knock-up. Gets a heal off of some stuns, gets Phantom Gripped again, looks like this might be it if Inferno's burnt. He's kicking, but I don't know if he's going to be able to escape the Inferno. Gets thrown down, dazed from the Fire Dragon, and then not even an Inferno, just a RB for the kill. And Jung Ho Yoon takes a 3-1 over over Matsumoto to get to the finals. Most of his games against the Destroyer looked pretty dominant, except for the second set, which was the only one the Destroyer won. Even the third set, where he originally wasn't looking so good, Jung Ho Yoon managed to come back, take control of the match, and decisively went out there. It was pretty well done. Looking forward to seeing him in the finals, which the finals will be put up on my stream after the third place match, so stay tuned for those. Keep your eyes on the channel, everybody.